Alright, we've got a Kitchenaid K45 here. I did start taking it apart a little bit, so I'm not sure, where to, how much I missed on the camera here. But anyways, we took the back apart here, and it was it had a this is a K45, not a K45 SS, so it doesn't have a solid state control. And this is the control that was on here. It's the solid state controller. So there's really no way to hook up, all your wiring to this, because this is designed to go to work with the phase board. Which, I mean, we could probably alter the wiring on here and put a phase board in here to make this work, but that's like an extreme amount of work to do that. So we're just going to leave this out, and the original one was sent along with it. So we're going to see if this is any good, and if this is bad, because basically this just has the contacts on it, and your wires soldered to it. If this is no good, then we can just order up another speed control for it. So, but we'll find out. But anyways, I've got everything disconnected from the back. I pulled the resistor out, and I was just about to flip this up and start taking the rest of this apart here when I realized that the camera shut off. So I just want to make sure you guys got a good view here, and we're going to tap our ring off here. And like I said before, you just want to be real gentle with this. You don't want to beat on it and bend that edge. I mean, it'll come off if you just work it nice and lightly. I mean, the ring is designed to come off, and you can see chunks just fell out of here of old dried up flour. But I think the main reason for this ring is to catch this stuff here that you see. You see some gooey old grease stuff coming out of there. I think that's the main reason for this ring, is to catch it as it breaks down. Your grease breaks down and starts to run, so it doesn't just run down and of course drip into your food. This one doesn't look like it's got grease in it yet, but it does got some old flour. But that's going to get cleaned up and polished up, so we're not going to have to worry about that when it goes back together. Alright, now for this planetary here, there's a pin here that we got to drive out, and once we drive this pin out, we should be able to pull this planetary down. Alright, pin should come out now. And there's the pin. Let's see if this will pull down. If not, we'll have to try to finagle it. There we go. See, this one's coming out pretty easy. And you can see there's gobs of grease down here, but yet there's really nothing on the teeth in here, on the sun gear or this planetary. So that's something we'll address when we re-grease it. I want to go ahead and just take this shaft off here now, which basically there's a screw on top here. Get some of this grease off so you can see. This has that nasty Kitchenaid grease in it. Alright, the screw right here, we'll have to take that off, and then there's like a washer under it. This gear will pop off, and there should be a pin with another washer that holds the shaft in here. So let's go ahead and see if we can crack the screw loose here and get a grip on it. Alright, that one's tight, so I'm going to have to just get something on here to just keep that gear from turning. And I'm just going to put this on here, not too tight because I don't want to damage the teeth on it. But then again, I don't want it not tight enough to where this will slip around in there and round off the edge of those teeth on that gear. I mean, it's a hard gear. There we go. So it can take a lot, but you don't want to risk damaging it. Okay, get our screw out. The gear is held on there with some goo now, I think, too. Yeah, the gear seems to be a little stuck on here. And this gear should just come right off. But this grease is so bad in here, though, it's probably glued it on here. I can see the pin here. The pin don't seem to want to come out either. The gear is moving now. Alright, there's the gear. Let's see if I can get this pin to move. I've just gotten into this and I'm already getting covered in grease. These Kitchenaids are just really, really greasy. So it's probably a good idea, if you want to tear into one of these, it's probably a really good idea to get you a pair of rubber gloves. Here's two washers that stack and they go on this shaft that comes out of here. I'm just going to set those aside. I should probably get a paper towel to set them all on, but alright, I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm just going to try and drive this pin out here. Usually this pin just slides really easy, but this one's coated up with a bunch of funk from the grease, so there's the pin. Alright, I'm going to set that over there. And I'm going to get a washer off. Set that with it. And we're going to pull this shaft out. There we go. Now we get this all cleaned up. And there's one more washer down here. I definitely want to stack those up. Alright, so on here all we got to do is scrape some of that grease out of there. And this will be ready to go. Yeah, greasy already. Alright, so you may not be able to see. Let me see if I can change camera angle here. Alright. But there's 5 screws here that are going to have to come out. Yeah, I'm not really sure the age of this one, and I don't really know when they introduced the solid state ones. I think the solid state mixers came out in early 70s sometime. So this would be before that. I think they made these K45s from the 50s all the way up to then. I'm not positive though, but alright, and this sun gear that's in here, right here. I mean, you know, you can see it looks like these screws go in here and they help hold it in. But I can go like this all day and it's not going to come out. But when I put this in the oven and it heats up the whole casing, this ring will come right out. Which I usually take this out. That way, I make sure everything is clean underneath it and stuff. It's tough to get back in there with that ring in, and then. After everything's cleaned up, once this heats up again, then that ring will just slip right in there. and then when it cools, it kind of locks it in there. Before I forget, I want to take this O-ring off of here too, which is just another seal on here to keep the grease inside. And these O-rings are available too. I mean, I'm gonna be careful with this one, but they're available too. I mean, if it gets damaged, you know, they can be ordered up for it. I mean, I haven't seen one yet that's been dried out and needed to be replaced, and I haven't damaged one yet taking it off either. So they're decent O-rings. All right, I'm gonna take these two screws out, and then I'm gonna have to, you know, lower this down and turn it around to get to the two back ones. And anytime you're doing, you know, any service on these Kitchenaids, if you want to change your grease, this is what you're going to have to go through as well. So, and, you know, this is a part of the video that you can use just for that. You know, you don't have to go through the whole video. You just use the parts out of it that you want to use. And I think I'm going to order up a new cord for this one. Because this one definitely needs a cord. Alright, one more screw, hold this all together. And in order to take this apart, there's a gasket in the front around that gearbox that, you know, I mean, you know, we're going to be careful with that too, but we can always order another one of those if needed. And there's a paper one back here, and I think maybe the only reason this is here is just for spacing, to keep spacing for the, since you're a little, you got the thickness of a gasket sitting on the front here, it more or less acts like a shim. Alright, I'm going to spin this around. I'm going to try to separate it. There we go. Alright, I gotta get my cord pulled out of here. Matter of fact, instead of replacing it, I'm just going to cut it off. Alright. So now you can see inside the gearbox with some of that goopy grease on it. And here's the top half of it where you can see, you know, I don't know if the camera's focusing on that, but you can see all that nasty grease in there. I'm going to set the top half aside for now, and I want to get something to scoop all this grease into, and so we can start taking this section here apart. Alright, I'm doubling up on the paper towels for this part. And so far, looking at the parts we've taken off so far, everything seems good except for, of course, the speed control. Like I said, I'm not sure if we're going to have to order another one of those or not yet. It can get confusing when you're ordering parts for these. For, you know, well, for any machine actually, you know, you got model numbers that are so close because, you know, you got the K45 and everybody knows what it looks like. It's your standard Kitchenaid in appearance, and then you know, they decided to, at 1 year, they decided to add solid state controls to it, and then they just still called it the K45, just added an SS at the end. think that's all I'm going to scrape off of here for now. I can get to everything. Get this gasket off of here first. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order up another gasket for this one just because this one looks kind of brittle. It didn't break coming off, but it looks brittle. So, you know, and these gaskets are still available. I mean, even though they fit so many different models, the gaskets are identical. So I'll set that aside and I'll have to make sure I order that up here. Get this gear assembly here out. And this assembly right here, it comes all apart. The shaft comes out in 2 gears and there's 2 washers in there. They can all be degreased separately and then put back together and re-greased. Alright, get this off of here. Need something I can grip it. This right here is the fiber gear on it. You know, when this thing binds up or whatever, this is the gear that will shred, protect the rest of the machine. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of nasty grease in there. Like I said, I'll have that all pulled apart and degreased. Alright, I got one more big gear I got to take off of here. I got to set something up here for these greasy parts. And get everything to stay put and made. Alright. So I'm going to grab this gear off of here now. And you can see with the O-ring off, this thing just comes right out. And there should be 1 washer here. Yeah, there's 1 washer on the bottom there. When these go back together, you know, it seems like on every one of the part there's been 1 washer here and then 2 on the bottom. So this will go through the base and then 2 washers going there. This got a lot of grease on it. That's got to come off. But I'm not going to have you guys watch me scrape the grease off everything. Right, a grease scraping video would be a pretty boring video, no matter what music I add to it. But this is going to be a good looking machine when it's done. Alrighty, now I'm going to take this off here. This is the lock that locks it into place. Alright, got that cleared off. Alright, this little pin, or screw actually, there, that was wanting to fit, but we got her. Take out this last screw here and we take this whole lock assembly out. There we go. Complete with the screw. Alrighty, looks like we're getting somewhere now. Alright, the only other thing that's left on here is to take this pin out to separate these 2 halves, clean up the bottom good, and take the feet off, and then this little plate down here. Definitely camera angle for you. You know, this right here that's got the ears on it that lock the bowl in. I'm going to take that off, take the feet off, take this pin off, and separate these, and this is pretty much good to go. So I'm going to move on to the top half of the motor now, because I can disassemble that off camera and you guys won't really be missing anything. Clean some of this grease off my tools. Alright, now I'm not sure how much you can see. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. There's gobs and gobs of grease in here that I'm going to try and get out now. I could probably do better if I went and grabbed a spoon. But I don't think the wife would appreciate that. Food grade grease or not. Alright, yeah, there's so much grease inside of these things. I mean, this one looks, the grease doesn't look as funky in here as it does, not as funky as I was expecting. I mean, I'm wondering if this thing did have service at some point and had a lot of this grease changed. It's just some parts they didn't bother to pull out the old grease. Just like got out what they could and then added some new. I'm not really sure, but I mean, this grease doesn't look as nearly as bad as I was expecting it to. Alright, I've got the bulk of it out of there. I'll get the rest out later. But I'm going to go ahead and grab another paper towel before I do anything. I want to pull this PTO drive out. You can see it's, oh man, that's a gear with it's got the end with a square notch in it for the square recess in it for your attachments, grinder and all that good stuff. Alright, I gotta clean up some of this greasy mess here and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that I've got a little bit of organization going here, I guess we can carry on with taking this apart. Down here you can see the cord. The cord actually comes and wraps back around to underneath there, so I'm just going to try and get that out of the way for now. But I do want to get this switch out, and the switch is mounted to this plate right here, and this lever right here works the switch. This right here is the on-off part right here, and then of course this long lever goes to the back here for the speed control. But right now we got to get this on-off switch and this lever assembly out of here, which isn't that big of a deal. There's a screw that holds a lever assembly on here, and everything pretty much pivots on it. And if you look, you see it's a shouldered screw, and it's got a wavy washer and then a regular washer on it. Actually, it doesn't even look like a wavy washer. I don't know, it's real thin, so it might be. But then there's two screws with like the star washers here that hold the switch on. See, the switch is on a separate plate here, so once you get this off, you can slide your lever all the way up to the end here and disconnect it. And you got your switch. The spring came out with the switch this time, but you got your switch with the plate that it mounts to all in one piece. And now you take the lever with the switch lever on it, and you can pull your speed control lever out, and then of course your spring steel clip that goes in here. Alright, I'm going to stand this up on end now. And I know you guys probably can't see down in here too well, but I'm going to loosen up these two nuts here. And that's why I can start pulling everything out of the inside now. For anybody that's just wants to do maintenance on these, I mean, you really don't have to get this far into it. If you're getting down into the motor and stuff, this is this is the part where you're gonna have to go into. You got your fuel coil and armature down inside of here, and the front bearing. Rear bushing. I'll show you these parts as they come out. Take this off without pulling the armature out. That way I can show you guys as they come out one piece at a time here. That bushing was really holding on to the armature though. Alright, so here's a little brass plate on here, and it's just like the older Kitchenaids as well. They got the brass plate that holds the bushing in there, so we can take this apart, clean that, get that lubricated. And then we got to get this metal plate here out. That just gets cleaned up. Nothing fancy about that. Now we can pull our armature out. See, this time, sometimes these got to be, coarse out a little bit. This bearing will stick in there just out of race, but this one came out good. And you see, there's the bearing. We'll get that bearing lubed up really good. So, when you spin these, I haven't yet to find a bad one. They're nice and smooth. There's no movement on the race at all, so the bearing is still good. And then check this here. This doesn't have any wear on it, so we'll just polish that up and get the shaft part polished up. All right, I'm gonna pull these springs out now. There's two springs that just go down on that threaded rod in there. So, I don't know if you can see down in here. You see you've got clips on your brush holders there. One there and one there. Might be too dark in there to see, I don't know. But anyways, we want to get these clips disconnected from these brush holders. And basically you can just grab them and pull them. Now, the one is only connected to a wire. Which one is it here? This one right here. This one is only connected to a wire that comes back and it connects to that lead you see that come from the switch. But the other one goes right to the field coil. Alright, so now that we're into here, we're going to pull our leads up for this cord. Should be able to. There we go. And we can get our cord disconnected. Now, one thing I noticed about these is that it's different with the solid state control ones. Is that your power goes up and it goes through your mixer, like your field coil and stuff before it goes to the switch. Where the solid state ones, it's almost like your power goes to the switch first. So that way, when you have it turned off, it basically cuts all power through the machine. Where this one you'll still have power going through parts of it with the switch off, which I think is something you realize that you had to upgrade later. But anyways, that's what the end of the cord looks like. Alright, so now the field coil is ready to come out of here. And there's there's two nuts on here on these threaded rods that just got to loosen that up, and these threaded rods aren't usually tight on here at all. They're just like a long stud that threads down in there. And usually, yeah, like this one here, just unscrews with your fingers once you get it, get the nut loosened up, and then move this about 1/8 of a turn. This one seems to be a little tighter on this side. Yeah, this one for some reason is tighter, but got it out anyways. Alright, so now we can take our field coil out of here. And you can see once you get your field coil out, that you've only got, you got your one lead going to the brush holder, and you got 3 other leads on here. These two of course go to your power. Like I said, you can see how, they go, this is powered up and it goes through, it'll go through your armature and back through the coil to here and then to your speed control. So this is all energized even when it's off, which is, I always thought was, unusual, but I don't see a date on here. There was some writing on there. I thought, well, maybe 1072. That might be a date. This might be 1972. I'm not positive on that, but could be. Alright. There's also 2 spacers here that I forgot to mention. These actually set down in there, and then the field coil will set on these, and then your threaded stud will go through, and it keeps your field coil right where it needs to be. Alright, inside of here there's some sleeves that are like paper dust sleeves, I guess, on the on these brush holders. It seems like the easiest way to get them off is to just loosen up your set screw and pull your brush holders through. Alright, so as you can see, we've got everything now tore down. It's just a matter of a lot of degreasing, cleaning, getting it stripped down, powder coated, and look at the fingerprints on here. Like I said, this thing looks like a cow. But anyways, once we get to that point and get everything back together, we'll see what other parts we have to order up. I know we got to get a cord for it, so we're going to order up a cord and a gasket. As far as for the speed control, I'm not sure yet, so we'll deal with it when we get to that point. But anyways, I'll be back when we get there, and we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so you guys got to see just got to see this thing getting all reassembled and stuff. I don't know how well you can see the finish on here. This is actually not white. This is called Pearl Sparkle, and it is a pearl white color that does have a really fine metal flake in it, and I'm not sure, like I said, that how well it shows up in here, especially under my ceiling light. But in person, I mean, it looks really cool. It's subtle, but you can definitely see the pearl effect in it. It's really nice. This one isn't quite finished yet. We've got everything done except for I do need to get a capacitor for it. And I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys a peek back here. You see right now the capacitor says up there, there's no capacitor in here right now. Once we got this together, it only had one speed, and that speed happened to be fast. So first thing I did, of course, was check the capacitor, and I'm going to put this on continuity, and see you'll hear a beep, which means that there's zero resistance. It's completed circuit, and you're not supposed to get that from a capacitor. So this capacitor is definitely bad. So I got to go and try and find another one. And also, this part here, I don't know if you can see in the videos when I first fired it up. This part is supposed to move, as it spins faster, and you can see it's not moving. So I replaced it with another one that actually moves now. This is what came on the mixer. It's not for this mixer, but this is what I guess they had bought a replacement part, and this is what they got. So it was the wrong part. So I had this in the parts bin, but it didn't seem to work very well. So I ended up taking the original one that was on here, and I resoldered the wires to it, and got all connected. And now we've got decent, speed control and all that. But there is still, you can see arcing here at the points when it's running, due to there being no capacitor in there. I mean, that's your load filter, and without it, you do get quite a bit of arcing. So we definitely got to get a capacitor for that to replace that with. But what I want to do is turn this back around here, and I'm going to fire this up and just run it through the speeds here. This way the owner can, you guys can hear that this thing is running. It's all back together. It's working, and just and I'll update you as soon as as soon as I get a capacitor for it and get it in here, and then we can get it packed up and get back to you. So, anyways, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. And you can hear that the roughness in it. It sounds like a rough idle. That's because of the capacitor missing. With that capacitor in there, it smooths that right out. So you can tell, I mean, it runs. It's got that roughness to it. It sounds like an engine with a miss. And with this capacitor back in here, it's going to eliminate that, because if you can look down in here as it's running, you'll see a lot of arcing going on in there. So I don't want to run it too much without the capacitor and burn those contacts up. But anyways, if you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and let us know that you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you get notified whenever we post another video up. Clicking that bell apparently is the only way to get notified. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks.